COVID's been done, and we already started getting reacclimated to our day-to-day schedules. Most of us are back to work, back to the gyms, back to the stores. But one thing hasn't changed is we haven't got back to filling the seats in church. A lot of churchgoers, a lot of pastors are saying that they haven't reached the capacity that they're used to due to the COVID, where people stopped going to church and they've been watching church online, or they just haven't been back since. And I wonder, what's the big change? What happened? Why are we not going back to fill those seats? Why are we not going into the church building to receive the word that we are used to receiving? Everybody can go back to the malls, go back to the clubs, but they haven't been back to fill up the seats in church. Now, I don't know how it is on every region. Maybe down south it's a little different. Maybe on the West Coast it's a little different. Maybe up even further north up from here may be different. Midwest may be different. But it seems like to me that most of the stories from these churches are still the same. They're not reaching full capacity anymore. Now, not to say that people are abandoning the churches. They're not. There's some people who are sending their tithes and stuff through electronically, if your church has that set up, or they're caught up to the times. A lot of these mega churches are caught up to the times. The smaller churches are maybe a little bit behind, where they don't have that ability to set up everything electronically, or they have their church services online due to lack of funding for cameras and so forth. But what's stopping people from going in church, from getting the word like they used to? Is it the risk of being close to people, or just you just don't want to go to church no more? You know what I mean? Are you just lazy, don't want to get up out of bed anymore to get dressed to go to church? What's going on with filling up these seats? I would love to know. For me personally, I wasn't that big of a church goer back in the day when I was younger. Yes, I used to go every Sunday, even sang in the choir. But nowadays, with my work schedule, I usually work on the weekends, so I'm not there anymore. So what's stopping you from going, and how can we fix this problem?